Hi, my name is Julie from Sun and Soulshine Yoga, and I'm here today to talk with you about your mind and how we can use breath work and meditation and mindfulness practices to help train your mind to be in the present moment. So I don't know about you, but oftentimes my mind is anywhere but the present moment. And this is pretty normal and natural for most people. To be somewhere else other than where they are in the moment. So part of that is because your mind's job is to think. And the fact that your mind is thinking is proof that it is trying to do its job. But sometimes our minds try to work overtime. So these are just some tools and techniques that you can use at any time to help bring yourself back to the present moment and to do so quickly. So the first thing I want to tell you is that one of the principles of mindfulness is non-judgment. Oftentimes, myself included, when we notice we have drifted off from the present moment or we're having negative thoughts, we can become more critical of ourselves. And this does not serve us at all. So for example, if I'm coming to my yoga mat to do a practice because I'm feeling a little bit scattered that day and I'm needing to slow down and connect with my body, and halfway through the practice I just notice that I'm stressing out about the 4 things that I was supposed to do that morning that I forgot to do, or if I'm getting really distracted by a bunch of sounds that are happening around me, I can start to judge myself and think like, gosh, Julie, you created this time so you could do yoga and you're not even taking advantage of it. But that literally does me no good. It actually will harm you more. So part of mindfulness is becoming aware of these things and our thought patterns, and then offering ourselves compassion anyway, because we deserve it. We're only human, and the fact that our minds are thinking just proves that they're doing their job. So on a daily basis, the average human has between 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. And they start the moment that we wake up, and they don't stop until we go to sleep. And sometimes when our mind really works overtime, it wakes us up in the middle of the night and gives us stuff to think about. Again, this is normal. This is natural. Our minds are supposed to think. It's what stops us from putting our fingers on a hot stove. So of all of these thoughts that we have every day, very few of them actually have to do with the present moment. I read something recently that said our emotions keep us in the past. So we spend a lot of time processing past emotions. Our minds keep us in the future. So our minds spend a lot of time planning and prophesizing and having fake arguments with people in our minds that haven't taken place and probably won't take place in the future. And our bodies are what help us to stay in the present. So our bodies are always living in the present moment. And it's our job to bring our emotions from the past and our minds from the future to exist in this one body, in this one moment, in the right now. So full disclosure, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a mindfulness teacher. I practice this shit because I have to, because this is stuff that I struggle with. So you are not alone in your minds wandering or in having thoughts that are scattered. So whether that's on your yoga mat or off your yoga mat, it's completely normal and natural. So let's just normalize the heck out of that, okay? Today I'm gonna offer you some breath practices with some tools that you can use to train your mind. And most of that is using the breath and counting. So I invite you to start in a comfortable seated position. I have a blanket underneath my hips, so I always suggest propping yourself up. This is a yoga blanket. The only thing that makes it a yoga blanket is that it is tightly woven, which means it doesn't have a lot of give. So it's going to keep my hips up high even when I put my body weight on it. So take a second, grab a blanket, maybe you have some firm pillows. If you have a yoga block, you could use that instead, or a bolster, or you could even roll up the edges of your yoga mat and sit on that. So somewhere where you can sit up with a nice tall spine. The reason that we do this is because when the diaphragm is expanded with a tall spine, we can breathe more effectively, so we can pull more breath in, let more breath out. Beautiful. All right, so the first thing we're going to practice is heart and belly breathing. So take one hand and place it on your belly and take the other and place it on your heart. Doesn't matter which one goes where, do whichever one feels most authentic to you. And then close your eyes. And without changing anything about your breathing, just notice your breath moving in your body. Notice where you feel the breath the strongest. Maybe you feel it the strongest in the belly. Maybe the chest. Maybe you most strongly connect with the breath moving in and out of the nostrils. Anchoring your hands on your body is a fantastic way to connect with your present moment. Sends your brain the message, I am here. Now taking some intentional breaths. So as you breathe, think about breathing into your low belly, expanding through there, pulling the breath up and in towards your chest. And then as you exhale, let the air release in the reverse way, so releasing from the chest and then the belly. Inhale, draw into the belly, side body expands, chest lifts. Exhale, chest falls, ribs come closer to one another, navel to spine. Do this 2 more times. And then keeping your eyes closed, you may choose to keep the hands on the body where they are. You might choose to take your hands and place them on your side body to feel your ribs expand and contract. You might choose to take the hands into the lap or on the knees. Play around with what feels good to you. There's absolutely no right or wrong. And let's give the mind something to focus on, which is the counting of the breath. So we will inhale for a count of 3 and exhale for a count of 3. Empty out the air in your lungs completely. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Do 3 more at your own pace. Staying connected with yourself, keeping the eyes closed. Just notice where your mind is. Remember, with compassion. So we'll take this counting breath a step further, just to help our minds and our bodies. So our body automatically inhales and exhales. But we can manipulate the breathing and really focus the mind on the breath to connect the mind with the breath. So we're going to do something called square breathing. But before we do, I want you to inhale for a count of 3 and exhale for a count of 3. And just notice the natural pause that happens just before the inhale and just before the exhale. There's this really slight moment, but we're going to make this slight moment be a part of our 3 count to create the shape of a square. So we'll inhale for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3, and hold for 3. When you're ready, empty out your lungs completely. And inhale for 1, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Do 2 more at your own pace. When you're finished, you might choose to blink your eyes open. You could also choose to keep them closed. So when we do our square breathing, we're really asking the mind, the brain, and the body to communicate because we're manipulating our breath. Square breathing is really effective in helping us to refocus our mind when we're feeling really scattered. It can also help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of our body that is in charge of rest and relaxation. So it's the opposite of the fight, flight, or fear response. If we do ever feel like we are in a place of anxiety or panic, studies have shown that lengthening the exhales, even for just 1 count longer than the inhale, can be very effective. So you could do something like inhale 2, 3, exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, exhale 2, 3, 4. The reason that I skipped that breath retention or the holding of the breath on the inhale and the exhale is because that in itself, for some people, can cause a little bit of anxiety. I know for me personally, it took me years to feel comfortable with holding my breath. In the beginning, it kind of set off all the internal alarms in my body. So if you are ever feeling a little bit anxious or a little bit scattered, knowing you can do square breathing and lengthen your exhales, or you could just inhale for a count of 3 and exhale for a count of 4. Maybe even just doing breath retention at the top of your inhale. Once you become more comfortable with these practices, then you can begin to lengthen your inhales and your exhales. For example, inhaling for a count of 6 and exhaling for a count of 6, but always building up to get there. never wanting to feel like you are rushing your breathing to make it so it's a certain number, and never feeling like you're straining yourself to get to a certain number either. So one more breath strategy for you today, and that is using affirmations with your breathing. So if you are not a numbers person and that doesn't resonate with you, using a mantra or a positive affirmation is a really fantastic way to help focus your mind while you're doing a seated breath practice. So that could be something like inhaling and thinking, I am grateful. Exhaling and thinking, I am grateful. It could be an affirmation statement, like those I am statements, or it could be something like, all is well, or I'm right where I'm supposed to be, or a word like peace. So I want you right now to choose something that you would like to use for 5 rounds of breath. So maybe it's a word like joy. Maybe it's a phrase like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Or maybe it's an affirmation like I am amazing. So choose your affirmation, choose what you want to do with your hands. Remember your options, where you could place your hands. And let's sit up tall. Remember that tall spine helps us to draw in more breath. Close your eyes to bring your attention inward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And just pause here. Notice how you feel. Notice where your mind is. Maybe you bring a slight smile to your face. Gently bring your hands to your heart center. Knowing that these practices are something you can return to anytime you need, even if it's just for one breath in your day, when you're driving your car or cooking dinner or picking the kids up from school or sitting at your desk at work. I'm so grateful to share these with you and for you for taking time for yourself today and always. Remembering sunshine warms us from the outside in, and soulshine warms us from the inside out. Let your soul shine. Take time to tend to you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. If you like these practices, please check out the other meditations that are on this page, or please feel free to join me for a yoga video or one of our classes. Be well.